Hello, welcome to the queue. It is turn 6, Operation Casino Royale, Commonwealth and France. And I'll apologize in advance if I drop a cough or two here. Sort of came down with a little something yesterday. So, anyway, let's move on to the Commonwealth and their purchases. Britain with $16 is buying a fighter, 2 infantry. FEC with 7. Anti-aircraft gun militia saving 1. Anzac with 6, buying an infantry and saving 3. Tech rolls. Factories, no, improved construction and factories. So red will be the construction, and they're all at 7. We got a 9, so we did get 1, which is factories, which moves us up to here. So that's good. Construction, I guess it's okay. We don't have that one on there. Next turn, we do get to start rolling for stage 3, so that'll be nice. I don't think we need our dice for anything. Oh, France will roll. I'll get those out of there. All right, so let's go look at some movements. Anzac is, well, we do have a movement here. We're going to move this motorized out of Sydney into New South Wales along with the fighter. And that's it for the Anzac. They're going to stay put. FEC, staying put. Come down here. We've got, well, I guess technically we got to do our combat moves first because going on escort duty is a combat move. So this destroyer in I-1 comes over to A-54, goes on escort duty. We have this destroyer that's in M2 coming out. There is a port here from Gibraltar. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, I thought it was 4 away. So they didn't really need it. So it's going on escort duty in A28. The other is this destroyer is coming off A27, 1, 2, and going on here in A21. And I should talk about that now because I had the rule backwards, and my team that I'm playing with here was gracious enough to let me take these ships off escort because I was assuming the rule was if all these German subs would have attacked, if I was on escort with that carrier, then I could defend. I get to choose to defend, but it's the exact opposite. Is the attacker gets to choose if these ships are on escort, the attackers can choose to ignore the ships on escort duty. So I had it backwards. I mean, there was no attack. Germany stayed peaceful, so it was no big deal. So sometimes you remember the rules incorrectly, and that would be one of the instances. I just had it backwards. All right, so that would be the combat moves. Now we'll go back to non-combat, escort duty. All right, so strategic naval movement. We've got this transport here in South Africa, picks up the anti-aircraft gun and the infantry. And I'm using strategic naval movement because Japan and Italy cannot declare war on a strategic naval move. So 1, 2, 3, and we'll bring that port thing up here. We'll go in port here in Egypt, drop off the anti-aircraft gun and the infantry in Lower Egypt. All right, so that's how we get stuff safely up there. We've got this seaplane in Sierra Leone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into Cape Town. That'll give us some mobility there at the Cape Horn. Is that it? Or is Cape Horn over here? My geography is failing me. All right, so other movements. We are switching out the planes. So the fighter on A27 will fly off the carrier 1, 2, 3 and land on this light carrier at the exact same time that the tactical will fly off the carrier in M2 1, 2, 3 onto that light carrier in A27. So we basically just switched air arms. We've got this heavy cruiser coming off escort and just going into A27. We are going to move our ships back, the coastal defense ship and the torpedo boat destroyer from A-21, 1-2 into A-23. And let's see. Oh, the sub here in A-28 is going to go 1-2 up here into A-17 with that other sub. That's a French move. I think that is all the moves I have. We have a railroad marker. We are railing a militia from London up to Scotland. All right, now we're done. Yes. Okay, so let's go to placement. I'll just grab the British. Actually, I'll grab them all. Set those down. Let's see. Anzac's just placing an infantry in Sydney. FEC is placing an anti-aircraft gun and a militia in Calcutta. I think that's the max on their militia there at 3. And for Britain, we're going to place a fighter in London, infantry in northern England, and down here in Cape Town, an infantry just to protect our interest and, who knows what else. All right. Let's look at cash, and then we'll get on to the French turn. Britain stayed put at 16, so they have their 16. FEC saved 1. Anzac saved 3. But FEC went up 1 with that carrier being built, so they get 8. So they're going to have 9 for next turn. The 1 they saved and the 8 that they get this turn. Anzac gets 5, so they will have 8 because they saved 3. On to France. Let's roll their tech. They had $10. They're buying a fighter. So their tech for jets, success. Oh, look at that. That is so irritating. All right. So we'll grab that fighter so we don't have to come back. Their cash will be 10 for next turn if they have a next turn. All right. So movements. We got 1 ship moving. This light cruiser is going to come off escort. 1, 2, 3. And I'll leave it in this C zone because in M2 here because it's going to get rolled for at some point. So we'll get those out of the way. All right. So in France itself, set up for the final assault. The infantry from southern France goes up 1 to Alsace-Lorraine. The motorized from Alsace-Lorraine will come down to southern France. From Picardy will be the motorized towing the artillery, 1, 2 into Aquitaine. The tank destroyer from Picardy will come down 1, 2 to Aquitaine. Do I need anything in Picardy? Because it'll just get blitzed. We'll put 1 infantry in Picardy and give it 1 shot. Well, they got that artillery. Is it worth it? It's not worth it. Picardy's not worth it. All right. Is that how we're going to stand put for the assault? I get to place the fighter here, which has an air base, so we can scramble. That's the whole gist there. Now that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry. Yeah, that's good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below in Aquitaine, so half a dozen to one, 6 of the other. All right. I think we're golden. That's how we'll set up our defense, see what happens. We've already collected cash, so let's do a recap, and then we will move on to Italy. Down here in French Guiana, nothing changes. 2 transports in port, Foreign Legion, mountain infantry. All the way to top, Scotland, militia, Northern England, militia, infantry. Is that Southern England? Yeah, Southern England is a fighter, infantry, medium bomber, militia. London is a fighter, infantry, militia, paratrooper, air transport. A-23 is a French battleship, coastal defense ship, torpedo boat destroyer. A-6 French battleship. A-17 two subs. A-21, I forgot this transport is in port in southern England. A-21 is a fighter, French fighter on the map, a British destroyer on escort duty. A-20, A-19, A-35 are all French destroyers on escort duty. A-18, A-44 are British destroyers on escort duty. A-27 is now a battle cruiser, heavy cruiser, destroyer, tactical, and a light carrier. Oh, A-28 has a destroyer on escort duty as well. French medium bomber on map in A-44. In port in Gibraltar, 2 transports, 3 battleships. In Gibraltar, 3 infantry, 1 mountain, 1 marine, 1 militia. On our task force marker here in M2 is 4 heavy cruisers, 3 light cruisers, 1 light carrier with a fighter, 1 torpedo boat destroyer, 3 destroyers, and accompanying it is a French light cruiser and torpedo boat destroyer. All right, in Africa, what changed? Oh, north or lower Egypt now is 4 infantry, 1 AA, 1 militia, 1 FEC fighter. In port is an FEC transport. Escort duty is the Anzac destroyer and A-54. Cape Town is an infantry seaplane. Militia, 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 militia. Calcutta is now 3 militia, 3 British infantry, 1 British AA, 1 FEC AA, 1, 2, 3, 4 FEC infantry, and a Gurkha. No change here in Malaya, 2 infantry, 2 militia. Hong Kong infantry, militia. Down in Australia, in port in South Australia is a transport. South Wales is an infantry, artillery, motorized fighter. Queensland and both New Zealands are militia. Sydney is a militia, 2 infantry. And that is it in a nutshell. So Italy will be up most likely tomorrow.